Hey guys, it's Sunday, March 18th. It's gonna be another game, another replay. This is from, again, the Team Liquid replay pack. I really love it when these teams put out these replay packs. And it's gonna be some Korean player versus Liquid HeyPro, since this week's replay pack was from Liquid HeyPro. So that's why we see a lot of Liquid games here. And HeyPro is underrated by many people, but he is very good. He's very good in the long term of the game as well. He just hasn't shown too many tournament results, so that's probably why he's underrated, but he does play quite well. His opponent is going to be playing Terran, and this is the map Cloud Kingdom, so we're going to be seeing this game here. I believe this map was created by some kind of map making tournament on Team Liquid, so it's really nice to see Blizzard incorporating these user made maps into their map pool. We're going to see a couple of new maps next season, I believe, based on the information given on the Blizzard website. They're actually taking votes on what map to remove. I know some people don't like the idea of removing the Shattered Temple, as it is the new version of the Lost Temple, but that's the map that I did vote for to be removed because I believe it is the most imbalanced map, or the least fun to play on, at least, because of the rocks and stuff like that. So over here, our Korean player, he's throwing up his barracks up at the front. He has also got his supply depot up in the back. This barracks will form a more solid wall against banelings, and HeyPro over here throwing down his expansion hatchery. There's no pool just yet. He's getting gas first, so we are going to be seeing a speedling opening. No scout from our Terran player until just now. He will be able to arrive and see exactly what's going on. His first Marine is on the way, and his orbital is coming up at a standard timing. If you guys are getting your orbital anytime later than 16 food, you're definitely getting it way late than you should be, and that does create a lot of a mining problem, especially for you Terran players in comparison to other Terran players especially. HeyPro's hatch is just about to finish, and the SCV does arrive to check things out. This Korean player does have the option of actually walling this off with a couple of bunkers, but he is going for the factory. Pool is just about to finish, and HeyPro is just about to have 100 gas as well. Based on the production, I do believe HeyPro will be going into a longer term game. He's throwing down the queen right now. He's also taking guys off of gas. This will give him quite a bit of a mineral boost. The factory is going to begin walling this off. There is a little gap over here for a Korean Terran player, but it's not going to cause him too much trouble, as our Zerg player hasn't really finished speed yet. It's only now just started. He doesn't have the production to pour on the pressure, but I do believe our Terran player would like to wall this off eventually, or risk a major Zergling counterattacks, and that's not really nice to deal with. Over here, he's also throwing down his starport, so he is going 1-1-1 as of this point. Hellion is coming out. Interesting to see no sort of add-ons here, no tech lab or reactors. Kind of expecting at least one of the two. However, he is going starport, so we'll see what he decides to make with that. But even with starport, I'd like to see some kind of add-on to better help spend money, or tech a little bit faster perhaps. Go for a Banshee without cloak, as he does not have the second gas. And there's the first Hellion checking out HeyPro's base. The queen is on site to be able to deal with this. Another queen now popping out. The Spinecrawler does finish up, so HeyPro will be able to defend. That was pretty close to actually losing a queen if he hadn't controlled that very well. Medevac now on the way for the Terran player, so that's very interesting. We may see an elevator play into the main, where the queens may not be able to reach just because there's no creep spread just yet into the main. Nothing connecting the two bases, which is very necessary in this game. We also have the command center now under construction. Overlord over here for HeyPro. It does see the minerals here, so he will be able to click on those to see exactly if his opponent is mining from the natural expansion. Just taking a little bit of map control here. Hapro throwing down additional gases, perhaps going to be going up to Lair Tech in just a few minutes. We also have a macro hatch inside of the main. I'd really like to see Hapro drop a creep tumor to connect the two bases. He does have that extra queen to be able to spread that creep quite well. Another spine crawler is on the way. A third spine crawler coming up, I believe, because Hapro is not seeing this base here. But it's just slightly delayed due to the Terran player going for a really funky opening here. It looks like he will be going into mech. He is researching the Blue Flame Hellions. Hapro's spine crawlers up at the front, and there is that medevac drop headed into his main. Zerglings are ready for it, though. I believe he may have spotted it somehow, or at the senses to be able to know that there was some kind of drop on the way. Looks like the float out from the command center. Interesting that he did not turn that into an orbital command before. It's always worth it to turn it into an orbital command first, as you're not going to get too much extra mining out of the base at the beginning, so it's really worth it to actually have that mule. And the Zergling is able to deny the drop. Where did that drop go? I guess it went all the way back home. Where's the medevac? There it is, dropping off back at the natural expansion. There are so many Hellions out in the field right now for our Terran player, but there's plenty of a wall over here for Hapro, and if he keeps his Lings inside of his main, he should be able to deal with any sort of Hellions drops, as they do drop one by one. There's the scan going down. He's going to be cleaning up a couple of these creep tumors, denying that creep stride, making sure that Zerg is able to be a little bit slower off of that creep. Couple of Banelings being morphed by Hapro. He does have the Baneling speed on the way, which tells me that he is getting a Spire Tech somewhere, I think. Don't exactly know where it is. Let's take a look at the units tab. This is new over here. I've never pointed this out before, so this will be the first replay that I do point out the larva count. So I see here the larva. There's 9 larva on the field. It's always good to stock up larva when you're max on food, but if you're stocking up plenty of larva and you're not spreading the creep, that's also a bad thing. So that's something that we can probably gauge Zerg players on at a later time, as we do not clearly understand the little bits and pieces of how good creep spread is and how good it is to have a lot of larva sitting out front. So that's just another tool to help players get a little bit better at this game. Banelings and Zerglings are waddling their way across the map. A couple of Hellions still sitting back. And it looks like another Hellion drop is coming back home. A couple of Mutas are on the way, and Hapro is spreading out his units over here. He doesn't know about those Hellions. I guess he sees them over here with the spine crawlers, but he isn't too worried about it. He does have a pretty good spread over here. The Hellions now returning home, but the Banelings do have the speed. The Hellions trying to clean up a couple of those Zerglings. Looks like the 3 Hellions will be able to return home. But that was a pretty good play by Hapro, spreading those units out. Going to be able to pick off a couple of units. And over here, our Terran players actually getting out a couple of Thors, and a third base is now being taken by Hapro. I don't quite like the location of this base, because it is more exposed than this one over here. It's closer to the Terran player, making it easier to harass, and a couple of Hellions will probably go scout it right now. Mutas are out in the field, so those Hellions will be forced to return home. Thors are on the way, or finish up. There's a couple of Thors finished. Looks like he does not have the Collector's Edition. The third base is on the way for our Terran player. Zerg would like to stay ahead of that, so I'd like to see Hapro probably sense this and throw down a 4th base. Melee attacks +2 on the way. Also the flyer attacks level 1. One Thor doing a lot of damage to a couple of those Mutas. Hapro doing a pretty good spread on them, making sure that only one of them gets hurt at once. SCVs are up at the front, going to be repairing a couple of those Thors up. There are 4 Thors out in the field right now, so this could spell some trouble if our Terran player decides to make a really strong 2-base push as he secures his 3rd base. Hapro now throwing down his 4th hatch, and the Muta is going to be harassing around here. Looks